What's everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Infinite Psyche podcast with your boy Brandon.
Matt.
Excuse my subtle setup there. You know, I tried to come in nice and smooth, but of course, I'm still human. Something we always try to maintain and show people. You know, we ain't perfect out here. We're still trying and still perfecting, but we're gonna move forward from that.
In our heads, we're Tom Cruise and Idris Elba, but in reality, we're all human.
Yeah. I got too much hair to be Idris Elba, unfortunately. But
Jason Momoa.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, it's not a brother, but still, good stuff. Anyways, so we are here with a new week, which means we got a new topic. It was my week to choose.
I have no idea what the topic is.
No.
And then after this, we're going to have you guys select topics. We got a couple that you guys have replied on Instagram, and that's pretty much our process. We're just going to have you guys pick them after this. But I have no idea what he's going to bring up right now, so I'm a little nervous.
Oh, it's gonna be a good one, bro. I'm excited about this one because this one was actually spawned from a conversation I had with a homie of mine.
What homie
like
is
a
it?
week ago. Tony.
Okay.
So him and his lady came down with their newborn son, my little godson.
Nice.
You know, we got to kick it, watch some fights, eat some dank food. It was a good time. So kind of just spawned from the conversations we had there. So yeah, man. That being said, the topic today is competition.
Yes.
So
I'm so down for this.
now that can range across a lot of different things, you know.
Yeah.
So I'll hit you with a question to kind of start it off with.
Down.
What was your first instance of competition in your life?
Oh man. I played a lot of sports growing up, so it's a little bit hard to narrow down in the first one. Maybe it was. So I played basketball at this rec center, and there's definitely like a lot of competition there because that was like the first sport I enjoyed playing. The other ones, they were just okay, like t-ball and stuff. But like basketball was something to it that I really enjoyed, and there's someone on my team that was really competitive, and I ended up quitting. But it's a really bad example because I was young. The first time I was recognizing competition, I would say more happened in my adult life. When I was doing music initially, there was someone that we were kind of being mentored by this individual in our genre of music, if you will. But overall production, like he was already being mentored by this guy. And I came into the picture and we just butted heads immediately.
Yeah.
Because it's like we both were vibing for the mentor's attention. Like trying to flex constantly, like, oh, look at this track I did, or look at this track. And that was probably the first time I would consider actual competition in my life that was like recognized and worked on.
Yeah.
But it worked, honestly, like this wasn't the question, but like it worked out for the best because we ended up getting along very well. Neither of us talked to the mentor anymore because he kind of just disappeared. But that individual, I went to his wedding, and
cool.
we're like brothers beyond brothers, man. And like we work through kinks, but that's just part of the journey. And it's funny how like your competition could become like you're one of your closest friends.
Definitely.
You know.
Definitely.
But what about you? What was the first time competition came into your life?
Probably when I started. I guess maybe my first one was in 5th grade. It was for play, so it was actually acting. It wasn't sports just yet.
Interesting.
So,
I never thought of you as a thespian.
yeah, nah,
dude,
it's
right?
it's on the low with it. I wear many hats. You know what I mean? So 5th grade, we're having a play. It was for this one story. It was about this detective kid who was solving this case where this girl got something stolen or something like that, and the detective had to figure it out, and it's a whole cute little story and whatnot. But it was they had like a bunch of illustrations in the book and stuff like that too to go along with the story. And I'm not trying to make this a racially charged topic with what I'm coming at, but it was a little white boy in the book. Okay, all the characters were little white characters in there. I'm obviously not a little white kid.
Yeah.
So
And that was the part you were trying to
yeah,
play.
so I wanted the main role. I wanted the detective.
Yeah,
you know.
why not?
So, and at the time, I didn't really look at it that way because, well, one, none of us should really look at it that way.
Yeah.
But as it stands, like I wanted the part just to have the part. I wanted to be the main guy. You know. And so when they told us we were gonna have auditions to go out for the part, you know, I knew a bunch of other kids who were. There's a couple of friends of mine who looked like the kid in the book, and a couple other ones had been in like other plays throughout the year and like different stuff. So, but almost every single one of those kids, when they went up to audition, they were reading off of the script and stuff like that. I memorized the entire play,
Oh shit!
including everybody else's parts. So I knew the whole play front to back. So when I went up there and auditioned, I killed it. I did my whole parts. I even, when we're like, you know, obviously I got chose for the play because of that.
Yeah.
You know, so that was very good for me. But that was the fact of the matter was, like, I had some people telling me, like, you know, you don't even look like the kid in the book. Like, why would you want to be the person?
But you killed it on the audition.
Oh, bro, yeah, man.
So
Because
you got
I
the
didn't,
part.
I didn't let that bother me, you know.
So you got the part.
I got the part.
Yeah.
I was even helping other people's with their parts who got, you know, other parts throughout the play. You know, I'm very proud of myself of that moment because I chose to attack something that other people were doing, and some people told me I shouldn't, and I not only succeeded, I excelled. You know, so
competition, it seems like in our examples, have got us in a better place.
oh, for sure.
So what were you and Tony talking about competition? What came up in that conversation?
So I'm gonna keep many of the details of that actually out of here,
Okay.
just because
Fair
there's certain things when you have conversations with people, you
Sure.
can't reveal the entirety of it.
Is there anything that you can shed light on from that, like a summary or way to paraphrase an overall
So
message?
the gist, I guess that's kind of what our conversation spawned this topic, because I feel like this topic is something that a lot of people, like I told you earlier, are either currently facing right now, or they're in a spot to where they're in a lane that is so heavily contested that it becomes maybe not more of a drive, but there starts to be negativity that gets attached to it.
Yeah.
You know, and I've seen that happen more often than I would like. You know, I think competition is a very healthy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we both just showed examples that when you're pushed to, you know, your limit or pushed out of your comfort zone, you know, you get to kind of see who you are in those moments. And those moments kind of really define who you are, you know. But, you know, sometimes people feel like they have to be that competition. They have to be the ones to bring the best out of people, or they feel like they have to push so hard and push the people around them because they just feel like it's their responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I'm grateful for those types of people in the sense that, you know, obviously they get some people going. You know, some people, they work better off of that. You know, from a personal training standpoint, I've trained you a little bit with certain things,
you
you
have
know,
trained me on
and but my style is very much not a degrading or like a, bro, I can do more than you, or like, bro, you need to push it. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's never on that tip. It's always, hey, here's something you might want to think about working on, or, you know, I noticed you're doing this. You might want to try it this way, you know.
When it comes to MMA, man, I'll tell you, this guy knew nothing going into it, and I was like nervous, and like those are a lot of my concerns. Is like if I'm gonna learn from someone, like, you know, those normal concerns. But you were very good at making me feel comfortable in it, making sure that I was equipped with the information I needed to, and it actually was fun.
Yeah.
And that encouraged me to continue to want to do that. So it's like,
Exactly.
you know, you definitely have a good way of going about that. So do you think that was shaped from your idea of like what you were talking about with competition, that putting yourself in their shoes, or?
For sure. I mean, yeah. So that's the thing, is I understand that type of mindset as well. You know, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with wanting to be the person to push people. You know, wanting to be the person grinding the hardest in the room, and I don't think there's anything wrong with, you know, expressing that fact.
Yeah.
You know, I myself sometimes when I'm at the gym, man, like I'll post on, you know, maybe Instagram or something after I've just like stressed and sweat, because I happen to notice no one else was really working that hard.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't do that to hate on those people or anything like that. It was for me to be like, man, look, I'm working today, and I can tell I'm working today because I'm the only one in here grunting and sweating. You know, now I don't, like I said, but I don't ever use it negatively. I don't ever down anybody to put myself up. You know, that's never.
You do it to encourage yourself.
Yeah, exactly. To encourage myself.
Being in competition with yourself is a very healthy state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. You know.
Well, it sounds like you guys had a deep conversation, man.
And it's with the people I know, man. It's always deep. You know what I mean? It's always ways to level each other up. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And I want that more than anything because just with a lot of the people I've been around, like my group of people. There's been unnecessary things that have happened and unnecessary dramas, and like I said, I'm not going to elaborate because all of it's past. All of us are in better spots now, but you know, you can't forget where you come from.
This is true. This is facts.
And so the competition. That's why I wanted your input on competition today because I'm sure you've probably had an instance where it seemed more negative than it seemed positive.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean. In the audio world, like, man, when we were recording just a couple of days ago, you brought up a good point. There's a lot of egos in studios, and like I've been in school for it. I've been in studios, and I've had similar experiences. It just seems to be something that comes with the territory. But just because someone knows how to use a compressor, and like I told you today, I think the best line that I could give to this is like, ain't anyone. My grammar's all off. I'm getting so worked up already just thinking about it. Like. No need to have an ego if you haven't had a Grammy. You don't have a Grammy? I don't care if you have 1,000 views on SoundCloud. Okay. Where's the Grammy? And when you have the Grammy, and you see people that have Grammys, they don't care to flex it. Maybe some do. But majority of those people enjoy doing what they do. That's why they got to that point. Yeah. And they were at competitions with themselves. Yeah. If you're at competition with yourself, there's more brutal honesty. There's less focusing on other people. Yeah. And I think a lot of people outside of audio are in competition with each other just on like Instagram and stuff like that alone on social media, just looking at what other people are doing and saying, oh, I need to upgrade my life. Why not just upgrade your interest into facilitating what your needs are? For sure. You know, competition could be good, but it could be bad. And I think it's crippled a lot of people. Like in my class, an individual I gave you a story about, thought he knew how to set something up. Teacher called on him and was like, wrong. But he was talking through the entire lecture, you know, like, don't feel bad for the guy. Like, he was sitting there talking himself up, and then when it was time to show on a proficiency exam, he fails in front of everyone because if he had just listened 20 minutes of his time, he would have been able to accomplish that. But he wasn't at competition with himself. He was trying to show off to everyone. Competition with us. For why? So, yeah, competition, I think, could also be a little unhealthy. There's so many examples to give, but like I said, I got a little worked up on the whole audio industry. It just resonates, and when you said that, it made me really like happy because like it's not many people that see that way. They just kind of go, oh, yeah, I'm also the shit. Like, but you called it for what I hope everyone does see in that industry is like check that out the door. You know, like we're all students, like forever students. Facts. So. What about you, man? With competition, where have you seen competition be something that's can be a negative in a way?
You know, there's I guess my two main avenues that I could speak, not professionally on, but with some knowledge, is fighting and music, which y'all will know. That's probably going to be my main two things I draw from forever. It just is. Those are my core. You know what I mean? So. Yeah. And I guess from a fighting standpoint, you know, I don't know whoever watches UFC out there, if you're watching what's happening now in comparison to what's happened not even 10 years ago. When I first started watching UFC, it wasn't, or just MMA in general, it wasn't the biggest crap talker who was owning the stages. It was the hardest hitter. It was the person who was putting people out. It was the people who was putting people away definitively for stretches at a time. Yeah. You know, those people were regarded as some of the baddest people, but it wasn't because they said they were, because they put themselves in that, or they spoke themselves into that spot. they were because of their work ethic, because of what they showed, and the quality of that work. It's all there. They didn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I'll give you the biggest example right now, I could say. His name is Colby Covington. Now, if I ever meet him, I'm not particularly tripping over this type of a conversation I'm about to say, because I ain't got time to really worry about another man in general. But I'm going to use him as an example because he is a good example.
All right.
When he first entered the UFC, he was winning fights. You know, he's only lost like one fight in the UFC out of like, I don't know the exact number, but it's got to be out of like 8 to 10 fights, I'd say. And the one fight he lost, it was like a short notice fight that he took while he was injured. So, and I don't even think he lost the fight that bad. I don't remember, because like I said, I really don't care about him that much. But with his style, it's very cardio heavy, very grindy. So he pretty much just comes at you full pace for the entirety of the fight. He doesn't slow down. He doesn't stop. He's a wrestler, so he just crack, pops you in the face, gets in close, wrestles you, puts you down the mat, and just controls you. In MMA, it's not necessarily the most exciting style in the world. Yeah. But somewhere he figured that out and turned to just started saying just being like the heel. But like taking that heel role super far to where like he's being outwardly disrespectful and outwardly just wrong and saying things that like you wouldn't say to somebody. Like, why would you say that? Yeah. Like, why would you say that? Like, it's
unnecessary.
It's incredibly unnecessary. Yeah. But you know, it's hard to deny him because he's winning fights. But so the thing with him, that's why I bring him up, because he talked himself into a championship fight. He's about to fight for the championship. He already technically was an interim champion, but it wasn't his style or his work ethic or stuff that got him there. It was his mouth. It was him running his mouth up. And him talking
Sounds
down.
Like someone I know, McGregor.
Yeah, well, McGregor is a little different because he was starching people. Yeah. McGregor was putting people unconscious.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's the only reason I give him a little bit of leeway.
Who's that guy that was trying to emulate McGregor? He's a youngin, also Irish.
Oh, I know his name.
He's
James Gallagher.
That's a better example.
Yeah,
that's
because he got his ass knocked out too. See, but that's exactly the thing, bro. It's like the big egos coming in. Like it's, if you have that type of energy and you can rock with that and you can stand behind it and you don't care, cool, do it. Like I'm not here to tell you don't do that. But the second it blows up in your face, I'm not gonna feel bad for you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be in your corner saying, "Oh man, we'll get him next time. Maybe just talk a little less." No, bro. You should. If you're gonna say something, back it up. If you can't, then back that up too. I'll respect somebody who owns their fault before I respect somebody who has an excuse for it.
Yeah.
And that's with this whole competition thing and us, the people that I know who are making things to be in better positions and who are doing things better. Let's cooperate.
Yeah.
Let's help each other, but let's not feud and try to make the other feel like they're not doing as much, because we're all have very different lanes we're going down.
Yeah.
And we're all could benefit off of each other.
That's true.
If we were a little less worried about what the other person was doing and worrying about and focusing on what what you're doing yourself.
Yeah.
Your own lane.
So seeing competition as healthy, actually a good example of that is even in business, right? Let's say you have a clothing store you want to open up and you go to a place where there's no clothing stores. That makes it hard because that means people are going to go out of their way to come shop at your store for clothing if it's in a chain of restaurants. But if you're in a clothing district, people are there to buy clothes, and now your competition has become something of health. Yeah. Because now everyone's already there and you have the foot traffic. Yeah. And when it comes to audio, I'm kind of speaking on like different reasons for working with each other is like I'm specializing in vocal recording, period. That's all I want to focus on. So I want to have the best signal path for that. But someone might have in their studio a live room to record a band. I can't record a band, so it's kind of nice knowing that if someone had a studio that had something to record a band, my competition has now become an asset to where I can leverage that and they can leverage my vocal recordings. and working with each other. So I agree. I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense, being that competition can be healthy, and yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, bro. Awesome. Yeah, man. For me, it's a tough one because I'm big on competition. You know, like I know when I have kids eventually, I don't want them getting the "you tried your hardest" award. Like, you know, I want them to go for gold. I want them to try to get first place. I'm not gonna make them feel like awful people for not.
Yeah.
You know, we'll go back. We'll look at what you did wrong. We'll make the proper adjustments. And we'll try again the next time. You know, but
100%.
it's that I want more encouraging competition. I want competition that uplifts and doesn't downgrade, you know. And I'm sure you're on that same tip with it too, with just what we've already talked about, you know.
Perhaps maybe there's a process. Like maybe it's best to drive competition at a young age, and then when the mind. I'm reading a book called The Whole Brain Child. It's a great book you guys should check out, and it talks about the psychology of not only kids but how we develop. And you try to punish a kid for a brain that hasn't fully developed, they're not going to understand the lesson that's trying to be taught.
Yeah.
So
Facts.
maybe it's okay and important to drive the idea behind competition early about being the best. And as we get to a certain age, in a form of parenting, kind of start to slowly transition that lesson into seeing competition as healthy.
For sure.
So the drive's still there, and that boundaries are still set against your competition, but you guys are also learning how to leverage your competition and lift each other up, and it become a healthy thing as age allows. So.
Exactly. Yeah, but as always, things are easier said than done. You know what I mean? You know, it'll take the effort of everybody who wants that type of a thing. You know,
it starts with conversations like this too.
Definitely.
That's not even a concept I would have normally had. Just, oh, you know what? Like,
yeah, no, exactly.
It's nice having this because it drives those ideas.
For sure. You know, and for people who don't realize that they might be doing that type of thing, or they might be negatively affecting people when they think they're being a positive influence. You know, you don't really know unless you either ask, or you know, some people aren't going to be like outwardly, bro, you're doing too much, like back up. You know, sometimes you got to check your own self with that type of thing, you know. But you know, it's always a learning process.
Yeah,
you know, you learn who to keep around after that point too, you know. So yeah, man,
competition. That was a good topic, man. I was not expecting that.
Oh yeah, appreciate it, bro.
And you guys are in charge of topics from now on. So when we put those things up on Instagram, let us know. You get a shout out. Make sure we get you the credit for the topic, and then you'll put us in a situation where we got to discuss it.
Yeah, man. Please do. You know, we can get going about pretty much anything. Which I had a funny one. The homie posted. He said childbirth.
We could do it.
So we could do it. I don't know what we would contribute to that type of a conversation, but
it'd be more of a comedy special. But
oh, for sure. Which we might sprinkle those in here and there too. It is the infinite psyche. You know what I mean? It's the grand scope of the human mind.
Thumbs up if you think we should do childbirth. Also subscribe and hit that notification bell, because it helps us to where we don't have to like bug you as much on Instagram. It just pops up in your YouTube thing. You're like, oh, the new one's up. Cool. If you enjoy the content.
Definitely.
So,
you know,
it will help you out and us out.
Definitely. You know, which we want to keep doing this. We want to keep coming forward and, you know, speaking about some things. Yeah. You know, we also want to know what y'all have to think about this. You know, we're not closed-minded people. We're not putting this just to have it be an open and shut book. You know what I mean? We're leaving a couple pages blank. Fill those in for us. Let us know what maybe we missed something in that dialogue. Maybe we didn't come at it from a perspective we didn't see. Maybe we were too biased on our perspectives. You know, if you have that type of a thought, let us know. I would love to talk to you about it personally. I would love to. I'm sure this guy would too.
Maybe the best way in the comment section, if you guys have a question about competition or a statement, put it in the comment section, and maybe we can get something together as far as like further discussions or like afterthoughts. We can do another video segment where we kind of discuss up to 10 top comments where we kind of just go over what you guys put down, and then we can take that conversation a little further.
For sure.
Bringing you guys in it, because we want you guys to be a part of this too. This is great that me and him can sit down and talk, but bringing you guys in will be a really nice element to where it's like everyone can sit at the table.
Definitely.
So everyone put the comments in. We'll take the top 10, and we'll just extrapolate on a statement or a question. So feel free to engage on that. So
please. Oh yeah, Matt. As always, man, it's a pleasure,
bro. It's always a pleasure, man.
It's a good podcast. It's a good setup. I think we nailed it, man.
Yeah,
it's going.
It was good.
It's always constant progression. So, thank y'all for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. We will catch y'all next week, same time, same place. I'm hoping this comes up at the right timing, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I have that down to a key. I'm good. Stay blessed, y'all.